Primites have been taking the world by storm, and the markets have been reflecting that. And some of the gains have been up to 20 times the original price. So rather we're talking about the cards that have been spiked in price or some cards to be looking at before they do, now is the time for the Primite Market Watch. And now today we're going to start out the Market Watch with the source of the Primite support, and that is none other than Primite Lordly Load. And now, this card is the main engine in the Primite deck, and as we see over in the OCG, Primite Blue Eyes has been taking down some of the meta decks, even that of Yugioh. And in the TCG, we are seeing players are already prepping with their copies of the Lordly Load, and the markets are reflecting that. And now when we look at the beginning of this card's market, as a secret out of Rage of the Abyss, it was literally floating around that $3 price tag, even close to that $2 line, okay? And now, if you want to pick up a single copy of the Lordly Load, they're floating at about $30 to $33 a piece. And that is not actually their highest. They have even sold closer to that $40 price tag, and some players are holding out in hopes they actually hit that mark. And honestly, this is kind of crazy. And since that's the secret, when we look over at the quarter century secret rare of this card, it actually started all the way at about under $20, okay? Then went up to about that 30 to 40 price tag, and now if you want a single copy, it is $90 plus. You heard me, over $90, almost triple digits. And with the Blue Eye support right around the corner and everyone wanting to be real life Kaiba, the price of this card could go up even further. So to the players that picked this up on the low, honestly, super congratulations. And if you're playing the Blue Eyes deck, it feels even better. But to some of the players that need to pick this card up, it really isn't going to be going down anytime soon and has some room to even go up. But before we get into the drill beam that has also been spiking in price, it's time to do a shameless plug, because if you were a member of the channel, you would have seen that we were talking about Primite Lordly Load when they were about $2 a piece, well before their initial spike. And then on top of that, every single video I do is early access to the members as well. So if you want some of the cheapest staples around, consider joining the membership. But getting back to the Primite drill beams themselves, we do see they also have seen quite the spike in price, and was mentioned on the membership video. But as we see early on, they were literally sitting at about 50 cents a piece, but now we're seeing that drill beam has spiked up to about $4 to $5 a piece. Depends if you buy one from a single seller with that shipping. So drill beam spiking up quite a bit, as well as the Primite Lordly Load. We see that these cards are played heavily in anything that plays Primite, and this is going to continue in the near future, especially once players realize exactly what this card does. And again, looking at the quarter century secret rare, it's been going up as well. At the very beginning, we see it's like $10, but that's probably just a couple sales, spiked up to $30, sitting at about $30 to $40 right now if you want a single copy, and it is expected to go up potentially a little bit more in the near future as the players wanting to bling out the Blue Eyes start to show themselves, because right now not everyone is on the Blue Eyes train, because some players don't look at cards until they are officially in the TCG. But if we're talking about Primate support that hasn't seen much of a spike as of yet, we do still have the Imperial Dragons sitting real pretty for that price tag. They're literally like 50 cents a piece, 60 cents a piece. I guess if you're literally buying one from one seller, that could be, you know, closer to the $2 mark. But once you hit the multiple sellers from one, that is actually a really cheap card, and it's not expected to be going up quite as high as the other Primate support cards. But depending on the support we get in the future, if they end up dropping anything that can be supportive of this, it has a lot of room to improve, much like the others. And then even the quarter century secret is sitting at literally below $20. It's like 17 and some change. So guys, if you're wanting an easy early access into something that's kind of nice, maybe consider the Primite Imperial Dragon quarter century secret rare, or even the Ultras. And before we go into some of the non-Primite cards, we're wrapping up with the Roar, because honestly, still super cheap, literally like 25 cents a pop. So if you haven't gotten your copies, get them sooner rather than later, because this card definitely can go up, especially if any other vanilla-esque support comes out where Roar is better than something like the Unexpected Die. And before we get into the spicy cards, I want to say the best way to support this channel is smash that like button. And then we have Chaos Hunter Quarter Century Secret Rare, and that has also been spiking in price as well. When we mentioned it way back when in the Malice Market Watch, it was sitting at about $3 to $4 and even dipped a tiny bit after that, closer to that $2 mark. But recently, we've seen that it's spiked all the way up to even $15 a piece, but has settled as of now at around $12. So if you want a quarter century secret rare Chaos Hunter to be combating the Malice meta, honestly, it's not the cheapest. And I hate advocating for picking up anything that isn't at the cheapest point. But at the same time, I want to note it has room to go down. It has a lot of room to go up, because as we've seen, even when Chaos Hunter was a secret rare, as well as some of the lower common rares, those secrets had a lot of value in them. But given that this is a hand trap that essentially floodgates only the opponent out of playing, the quarter century secret rares, and heck, even the platinum secrets of this card, have a lot of room to grow in the future of Yu-Gi-Oh! A real cheap penny stock is Anka Mufreet. And that is because the super rare out of the OTS pack is actually sitting at about 20 cents a piece. You're literally paying way more in the shipping than the card itself. So if you can even pick these up in person, I would definitely do so, because it is a very, very slept on card. I mean, honestly, it's just a lot of decks can't utilize it right now. But given how much utility the card does have, if there's ever a deck that can utilize it, like Domain Monarch, then this card will be seeing an explosion in price and quite the gains to the players who picked it up at such a low price. It's a free draw 1, it's a free special summon, and then a lot of times that leads to a free tribute material as well. So Anka Mufreet, super rare OTS, definitely a penny stock to be considering. And now going to some shiny meta relevant cards, we do have Parallel Exceed, and this is from the tin as a quarter century secret rare, and that is because right now they are relatively cheap. Yes, they were cheaper at about $1.50 it looks like on the chart, which kind of makes it look scary right now, but don't be afraid of that, because as we see, you can be paying close to about $3 a piece, which is probably what you're going to be paying close to on those $1.50 ones after you include the shipping, because unless you're buying from a seller for multiple, that's about what you're paying for it. So $2 to $3 a piece, depending who you buy it from, for a quarter century secret rare Parallel Exceeds are really nice. And I want to note that yes, these are from the tin, and that makes people feel like, oh, everyone has these cards, everyone's going to have a play set. In the future, this card will see a hike, especially when you look back to the super rare from the OTS pack, and that shot up to about $5 a piece, and the quarter centuries of this card will definitely see that price tag, if not a much higher one in the future. And if you want to check out some other cards to be on the lookout for, we will have other market watches flashing up above, but definitely follow us on our other socials on X at Vengeful Shadows to be seeing exclusive content. But most importantly, guys, stay safe, happy holidays, have a good night, and suck it, nerds.